Let me tell you something straight from my heart. The number one habit that made me successful wasn't luck. It wasn't some magic formula. And it sure wasn't waiting for the right time. It was consistency. Every single day I showed up. Even when I didn't feel like it, even when nobody was watching, I kept putting in the work. You see, the world doesn't reward what you say you're going to do. It rewards what you keep doing when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, and when it seems like nothing's happening. That's where real success is built. In those moments, no one applauds. Consistency is the quiet force behind every great success story. The invisible thread that connects small daily actions to big life-changing outcomes. It's the habit of showing up again and again, not just when the mood strikes, not just when the weather's good, and not just when the path is smooth. Consistency is about committing to the process, even when the results aren't immediate, even when progress feels slow, and even when no one is watching. Most people underestimate it because it's not glamorous. It's not a flashy one-time achievement you can post about and get applause for. It's the simple, sometimes boring repetition of the right actions that build momentum, skill, and trust over time. When I talk about consistency, I'm talking about making a choice every single day to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Feelings are temporary and unpredictable. They shift with your mood, your circumstances, or even the weather outside. But if you allow your feelings to dictate your actions, you'll never build anything lasting. Consistency removes that instability by replacing it with discipline. It forces you to act based on commitment rather than convenience. Over time, that discipline becomes second nature, and you start to move automatically toward your goals without waiting for motivation to push you. One of the biggest misconceptions is that success comes from big dramatic moves. In reality, it's the small, repeated actions that compound over time to create extraordinary results. Think about someone training for a marathon. They don't wake up one day and run 26 miles out of nowhere. They show up every day for weeks, months, even years, building their endurance step by step. Miss too many of those daily runs and the goal slips out of reach. Same applies to business, personal growth, relationships, or any meaningful pursuit. Skipping one day might not hurt, but skipping often breaks the chain. And once that chain is broken, the climb becomes steeper. Consistency also builds credibility. When people see that you keep showing up, they start to rely on you. Opportunities often come to those who have proven themselves dependable. In my own life, the doors that opened for me didn't always come because I was the most talented in the room. They came because I was the one who kept showing up, prepared and ready to work. Reliability is a rare quality, and in a world where most people quit when it gets tough, being consistent instantly sets you apart. It's also a form of self-respect. Every time you follow through on a commitment you made to yourself, you send a message to your own mind that you can be trusted. That builds inner confidence. When you can count on yourself, you don't need as much external validation. You stop questioning whether you're capable because your actions have already proved that you are. That self-belief fuels you to take bigger risks, pursue bolder goals, and push past the limits you once thought was set in stone. The truth is, consistency will test you. It will ask you to show up on days when you're tired, discouraged, or distracted. It will demand that you keep moving forward when progress feels invisible, and when you're tempted to believe your efforts aren't making a difference. But what you can't see in those moments is the way each small action is stacking up behind the scenes, building the foundation for your future. This is like a bricklayer building a wall. Each brick alone doesn't look like much, but over time, the structure begins to rise, and suddenly you see the result of all those quiet, consistent efforts. Talent might open the first door, but it's discipline that keeps you inside the room and allows you to grow beyond where you started. Discipline is the ability to control your actions, your choices, and your habits in the direction of your goals, even when distractions, temptations, and setbacks try to pull you away. It's the inner strength that stops you from doing what is easy in favor of doing what is necessary. Talent without discipline is wasted potential, like a sports car with no fuel. It looks good from the outside, but it won't get you anywhere meaningful. Discipline takes your abilities, your knowledge, and your dreams and channels them into focused action that produces results. Without it, even the best opportunities slip away because there's nothing to hold you steady when challenges appear. Discipline isn't something you're born with fully formed. It's something you develop through practice. Every time you choose to keep your word to yourself, you strengthen it. It's like a muscle that grows stronger the more you train it. The difficult part is that discipline often demands you make decisions that don't feel good in the short term. It might mean waking up earlier than you want, saying no to things that seem fun in the moment, or putting in extra effort when everyone else is relaxing. But over time, those choices stack up, and the benefits become impossible to ignore. You begin to realize that the temporary discomfort of discipline is far better than the long-term regret of neglect. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is that it creates consistency automatically. When you're disciplined, you no longer depend on bursts of motivation or sudden inspiration to act. You simply follow through on the plan you set for yourself, no matter how you feel at the moment. That stability is what allows you to keep making progress even during times when external circumstances aren't in your favor. Life will always have ups and downs, but discipline gives you a steady hand on the wheel, keeping you on course regardless of the storms around you. Discipline also protects you from wasting time and energy on things that don't align with your goals. Without it, it's easy to get caught up in distractions, reacting to every small thing that comes your way instead of focusing on what truly matters. The world is full of noise, endless entertainment, constant opinions, and countless opportunities to procrastinate. Discipline acts like a filter, helping you block out what's irrelevant so you can channel your best energy into the work that moves you forward. It teaches you to value your time because you understand that every moment spent on something unimportant is a moment taken away from your purpose. Another important side of discipline is that it builds mental toughness. It forces you to do the hard things when you'd rather choose comfort. And over time, that becomes a habit. You start to see challenges not as reasons to stop, but as opportunities to grow stronger. When you've trained yourself to keep going, even when it's difficult, you develop a resilience that makes you stand out in a world where most people give up at the first sign of discomfort. That resilience not only helps you achieve your goals, but also prepares you to handle setbacks without losing focus. The real magic of discipline is that it gives you freedom in the long run. While it may feel restrictive in the moment, limiting your choices or requiring you to stick to a routine, it ultimately opens more doors for you. It frees you from the chaos of living without direction, from the stress of last-minute scrambles, and from the frustration of unfulfilled potential. When you are disciplined, you are in control of your life instead of letting your circumstances control you. You gain the ability to make choices from a place of strength rather than desperation, and that changes everything. The trust is one of the most valuable currencies you can earn in life, and it starts with being consistent in the promises you make to yourself. Before you can expect others to believe in you, you have to believe in yourself, and that belief only grows when your actions prove you are reliable. Every time you tell yourself you're going to do something and then follow through, you build an internal reputation. Over time, you stop doubting whether you can handle a challenge because you have a history of keeping your own word. This kind of self-trust becomes a foundation for confidence, and confidence changes the way you approach every situation. You walk into rooms differently when you know you can depend on yourself to rise to the occasion. Trust with yourself also sets the tone for the trust others have in you. People are always watching, even when you think they are. They notice whether you keep showing up, whether you do what you said you would do, and whether you can be counted on in moments that matter. The most successful relationships, opportunities, and partnerships are built on trust. And trust isn't earned by one grand gesture. It's earned through repeated reliability over time. If someone sees you being consistent day after day, they begin to believe in your character and your capability. And once people trust you, they are more likely to open doors, share resources, and take chances on you. But trust doesn't come easy, and it can be lost in a moment if you're careless. It's fragile because it relies on integrity, and integrity requires you to make hard choices, especially when no one is looking. It means sticking to your values even if it costs you something in the short term. It means telling the truth when a lie would be easier. It means delivering on your commitments even when the excitement is gone and all that's left is the grind. The reality is that people remember whether you kept your word more than they remember the words you said. And your reputation is shaped by those memories. Another important layer of trust is the connection it creates. When others know they can count on you, they feel safe investing their time, energy, and even their reputation in you. This leads to stronger teams, deeper friendships, and long-term alliances that help you move further than you could alone. Many people think success is an individual pursuit, but in reality, it's often built on the trust of others who are willing to support you, vouch for you, and help you climb higher. Without trust, you may still achieve some things, but you'll constantly be fighting uphill battles because no one feels secure enough to stand beside you. Earning trust also teaches you accountability. When you've established a standard for yourself, you feel a responsibility to maintain it. You understand that your actions not only reflect on you, but also impact the people who are depending on you. This sense of responsibility can be a powerful motivator, pushing you to stay disciplined and focused even when your own motivation fades. It's a reminder that your consistency isn't just about personal growth. It's about honoring the faith others have placed in you. Ultimately, trust is built brick by brick through countless small moments where you choose to follow through rather than take the easy way out. It grows every time you show up on time, deliver what you promise, or push yourself to meet a standard you set. It deepens when you own your mistakes instead of hiding them, and when you keep going after setbacks instead of disappearing. Trust might not be the loudest part of your success story, but it will always be one of the most important because it's the thing that allows people, including yourself, to believe that you are exactly who you say you are. Opportunities rarely come announced with a big sign that says, "This will change your life." Most of the time, they show up quietly, disguised as hard work, extra effort, or a chance that seems too small to matter. The truth is, the people who benefit most from opportunities are the ones who are prepared when they arrive, and preparation is the result of consistently doing the work long before anyone is watching. And when you keep showing up and giving your best effort day after day, you are essentially building readiness. You might not know when the right door will open, but when it does, you'll be in a position to walk through it with confidence because you've already put in the time, developed the skills, and built the discipline to handle what comes next. Being prepared for opportunity also means keeping your standards high even when the situation doesn't demand it. Many people only give their best when they see a clear reward in sight. But real preparation is about giving your best when there's no obvious prize. It's about doing the right thing when no one will know but you. That quiet excellence compounds over time, turning you into someone who stands out without having to try to be flashy. When others finally notice, it's not because you suddenly got good, it's because you've been good for a long time, and now the world is catching up to what you've built. Another aspect of preparation is adaptability. Opportunities don't always arrive exactly the way you pictured them. They might be wrapped in challenges, require you to learn new skills quickly, or push you outside your comfort zone. If you've been preparing consistently, you'll have the resilience and flexibility to adjust without falling apart. Instead of being intimidated by the unexpected, you'll see it as part of the process. You'll trust yourself to handle the unknown because you've trained yourself to push through difficulty and find solutions. There's also the truth that opportunities have an expiration date. They don't wait around forever for you to get ready. Many people miss life-changing chances not because they aren't capable, but because they weren't prepared when the moment came. They were waiting for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, or the perfect feeling before they took action. But perfect never comes. What does come is a moment, sometimes brief, sometimes disguised, and whether you're ready for it depends entirely on the work you've done up to that point. Preparation is not just about skill, it's about mindset. When you live in a state of readiness, you carry yourself differently. You speak with more confidence, you approach challenges with more courage, and you make decisions with more clarity. People can feel when you're ready. That readiness inspires trust, and that trust often becomes the reason someone chooses you over others who might have the same talent but lack the same reliability. The habit of preparing for opportunity also protects you from fear. Fear often comes from uncertainty, not knowing if you can handle what's ahead. But when you've been putting in the work consistently, you remove that uncertainty. You may not know every detail of what's coming, but you know you've done the work to be in the best position possible. That knowledge gives you the courage to say yes to things that scare you, to step forward into new arenas, and to take calculated risks without letting doubt stop you. When preparation meets opportunity, what looks like luck to the outside world is simply the result of all the unseen effort you've put in. The hours of practice, the sacrifices, the early mornings, the late nights. They all come together in one defining moment that changes the course of your life. And those moments only belong to the ones who chose to be ready long before the chance arrived. Life will test you in ways you never expected. And the habit that often separates those who succeed from those who stop halfway is the ability to push through difficulty. There will be days when nothing goes as planned, when the work feels heavier than usual, and when it seems like every step forward is followed by 2 steps back. These are the moments that reveal your true character, because it's easy to keep moving when everything is smooth, but it's in the struggle that strength is built. Pushing through isn't about ignoring the challenge or pretending it's easy. It's about making the decision to keep going despite how hard it feels. That decision, made over and over again, creates resilience, the kind that can't be faked or borrowed, only earned through experience. When you choose to keep moving forward during difficult times, you begin to train your mind to see problems differently. Instead of looking at an obstacle as a reason to quit, you start to view it as a chance to grow stronger. This shift in perspective is powerful because it changes your relationship with struggle. You stop running from it and start using it. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to practice patience, problem solving, and perseverance. And over time, these skills carry over into every area of your life, making you more capable, more confident, and less likely to be thrown off course by the unexpected. Pushing through also builds momentum. It's tempting to pause and wait for conditions to improve, but in most cases, progress only happens when you keep taking steps, no matter how small. Those steps add up, and even slow progress is still progress. The danger of stopping is that it's much harder to start again. Once you break the habit of moving forward, inertia sets in and the hill you have to climb becomes steeper. But if you keep going, even at a reduced pace, you maintain your rhythm. And that rhythm can carry you through times when motivation alone isn't enough. It's important to understand that pushing through doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending to be unaffected. It's about acknowledging the difficulty, but refusing to let it dictate your actions. You can be tired and still keep going. You can be uncertain and still take the next step. You can be frustrated and still stick to your plan. This ability to act in spite of discomfort is one of the most valuable traits you can develop, because life will never be free of challenges. The sooner you learn to function effectively in less than ideal circumstances, the more unstoppable you become. Pushing through tough times also strengthens your belief in yourself. Every time you face something that felt impossible and come out on the other side, you collect proof that you can handle more than you thought. That proof becomes a source of confidence that no one can take from you. The next time a challenge appears, you don't just hope you'll make it, you know you will, because you've done it before. This kind of self-assurance can't be taught in a classroom or read in a book. It's earned through your own persistence. Another benefit of this habit is the example it sets for others. Whether you realize it or not, people are watching you. Your friends, your family, your peers, even strangers. When they see you endure hardship and keep moving forward, it inspires them to do the same in their own lives. Your persistence becomes a living example of what's possible, and that influence can reach further than you'll ever know. By refusing to quit, you not only create opportunities for yourself, but you also give others permission to believe they can push through their own struggle. Relentlessness is a mindset that refuses to accept defeat as a final word. It's the decision to keep moving toward your vision no matter how many times you hear no, no matter how many doors close, and no matter how far away the goal seems. Being relentless means you don't stop when you're tired. You stop when the work is done. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist, but about refusing to let those challenges have the last say. When you adopt a relentless attitude, you commit to finding a way forward. Whether that means taking a new path, learning a new skill, or starting over entirely. You don't just want success, you're determined to get there, and that determination makes you harder to stop. Relentlessness demands that you believe in your vision, even when others don't. There will be people who doubt you, people who don't understand your drive, and people who try to convince you to settle for less. If you're relentless, you learn to stand firm in your conviction and keep moving despite their opinions. You start to rely on your own internal compass instead of waiting for approval from others. This independence of thought allows you to make bold moves that others might avoid out of fear, and often it's those bold moves that lead to breakthrough. It also requires that you develop the habit of persistence in the face of setbacks. Most people quit after the first or second major obstacle because they mistake difficulty for impossibility. Relentless individuals understand that setbacks are not the end of the journey, but part of it. They adapt, adjust, and keep pressing forward. Each time they overcome a challenge, they grow more resilient, and that resilience makes them even more determined the next time. The more you push through, the more you realize that most limits are mental, not physical. Relentlessness is closely tied to focus. When you are relentless about a goal, you stop wasting energy on things that don't bring you closer to it. Distractions become less tempting. because you have a clear sense of purpose. You measure your actions by whether they move you forward, and you become intentional with your time. This kind of focus often leads to faster progress because you're not scattering your energy across too many directions. Instead, you channel it toward the one outcome that matters most, and over time, that concentrated effort pays off. A relentless mindset also changes the way you handle failure. Instead of seeing it as a reason to stop, you treat it as feedback. Every failure becomes a lesson, every mistake a chance to refine your approach. This allows you to view your journey with patience, understanding that success is often the result of trial and error. You stop fearing failure because you know it's not permanent. It's simply part of the process that sharpens your skills and strengthens your resolve. Perhaps one of the most powerful aspects of relentlessness is the momentum it creates. The more you push forward, the more progress you make, and that progress fuels you to keep going even harder. You start to see proof that your efforts are working, even if the ultimate goal is still far away. That proof becomes a source of energy that makes it easier to face the next challenge, and before long, moving forward becomes second nature. Relentlessness is not about working yourself into exhaustion for no reason. It's about staying committed to your purpose with such intensity that quitting no longer feels like an option. It's about deciding that no matter how many times you fall, you will stand up again and continue moving toward the life you know you're capable of creating.